eligibility checks. Joining us now, financial services reporter for Punchbowl News, Brendan Pedersen. So, Brendan, start there at the Energy and Commerce Committee, because we've been looking very closely at how they might do these Medicaid cuts that Democrats have been warning about, but Republicans actually now have to put pen to paper.
Right. And you can see in almost all of the messaging that's happening right now that Democrats believe that these Medicaid cuts will be one of the most animating issues of the upcoming midterm elections. Yeah. And we saw it just in the hallways outside the Energy and Commerce room in the House Rayburn office building. There were dozens of people lined up in their wheelchairs and with Save Medicaid shirts. I work in that hallway a lot because the Financial Services Committee room is across the hall. I have never seen energy like that. It's truly remarkable. And I spent some time in the Ways and Means Committee room yesterday, and even though they were not the committee doing the Medicaid cuts, it was almost all that lawmakers Democratic on that committee wanted to talk about. It was just everywhere. There was very robust conversation about a Stephen Horsford amendment that would have made the Affordable Care Act tax credits permanent. And so much of that back and forth was rooted in the cuts that have to be made to Medicaid under these reconciliation instructions.
And because the concern on the part of Democrats is that people are going to lose coverage, that there's going to be more red tape involved with people who are already battling illnesses and now have to worry about if they're going to be able to stay on Medicaid. That's a piece of it, too. And then, of course, Republicans are looking for ways to pay for this massive tax package extension that they are trying to do. One of the things that they're probably grappling with in Ways and Means, if not now, then at other points during this long markup, has been the state and local tax deduction, because that's another piece of this package where Republican moderates in key districts are trying to get this deduction cap raised. And it's a big sticking point in this larger package.
Right. And we've even begun to see that block of salty lawmakers begin to schism a little bit. You have Nicole Malliotakis of New York, who has basically come out and said that the compromise that was put forward by Speaker Mike Johnson of, like, let's raise the SALT cap to $30,000, up from the 2017 of $10,000. Malliotakis said in a hearing yesterday, yeah, that's going to cover 98% of my district. That's great. Let's do it. But then you've got lawmakers like Andrew Garbarino, Nick LaLota, and others who are basically saying, like, no, we need more. Like, our districts are more expensive. We have different needs. And so they are taking their leverage to the absolute breaking point. And we'll see how long they want to hold it out, because again, those lawmakers do hold a lot of power, but nobody wants to be the lawmaker who gets in the way of Donald Trump's big, beautiful bill.
Yeah, and you talk about the SALT Republicans as salty. Some of these quotes that they're starting to put out there, this idea that Republicans wouldn't have the majority without the SALT caucus, they're starting to, again, as you said, push their leverage, and we'll see where it ends them with that cap. But then, of course, the other piece of this, and this is really functional on the Senate side right now, as they're both side-eyeing House Republicans as they put this bill together, but then also doing work of their own, is this ongoing push for a crypto legislative package of some kind. Tim Scott plays a really fascinating role here, not just as the person who's tasked with heading up Republicans trying to increase their majority in the Senate, but then also the person who's the head of the banking committee. Talk about why Tim Scott wearing two hats is especially interesting when it comes to crypto.
Oh, it's so interesting right now. I could talk about this forever. I can't. I won't. But like,
sorry, Dan, we're going.
Tim Scott holds two very contradictory jobs right now in the Senate. He is the head of the NRSC, the campaign arm, heading into 2026 for Senate Republicans. He is also the banking committee chairman. Yeah. And as the banking committee chairman, he needs to build a coalition of bipartisan lawmakers. At least 7 or 8 Democrats need to help him enact crypto legislation. The big thing they're working on right now is stablecoin reform, which is a type of crypto that is basically used for other crypto transactions. It's like the first step of big picture crypto reforms, right? But at the same time that you have Tim Scott trying to find Democrats to work with him, including folks like Mark Warner and Ben Ray Lujan, both of whom are up in 2026, he is also trying to wipe Democrats off the map in 2026. He is trying to build an enduring Republican majority in the Senate. Those jobs are very much at conflict with one another. And his people will tell you he can do both. But it is a question of incentives, right? Like, do you really want to hand these lawmakers like Mark Warner and Ben Ray Lujan a significant win heading into 2026? If they have the crypto seal of approval, that's a major source of fundraising that Republicans don't get to tap, because crypto spent very, very big in 2024, especially in the race of Senate Banking Chair Sherrod Brown. Yep. And they're supposed to do that again in 2026. They have $116 million in cash on hand right now.
And it's a question of not only who gets to tout the legislative achievement of starting to regulate crypto, but then also who gets the crypto seal of approval to actually get that funding to keep themselves in better position to keep their seats at a very tough map for Democrats. So I think this is fascinating. Brendan Pedersen, it's a concept that's going to rear its head many times between now and Election Day. Thank you for priming us on it now.